and hope to see you in the future. Now may I request Dr. H.G. Koshia sir to address us all with his opening remarks.
Good morning, friends. Degrees on the dais, Dr. Milind Joshi, Dr. Dara Patel, Dr. Dubey, my colleagues from the department, Dr. Jayant Kumar, industry friends. After listening Dara Patel about the pharma industry, after listening Dr. Milind Joshi about the future of the healthcare industry and pharma industry, I think they have covered a lot of good stories. Friend, as a regulator, as you know, India is already established the pharmacy of the world, and pharmaceutical is a pious profession, not a business. By producing quality medicine at affordable price, we are serving the humankind, and we are proud Indians. And again, Gujarat is itself capital of the pharma industry of the world. We have a 5,000 plus licensed manufacturers, including loan licenses, which includes allopathic, homeopathic, Ayurvedic, cosmetics, and so on. And out of 5,000, almost 3,250 are engaged in the allopathic manufacturing. Out of this, almost 1,000 plus are WHO compliant units. More than 130 units are US FDA approved facilities, and many more. And I thanks to the industry because they are producing quality medicine at affordable price. And as a regulator, our main job is to make sure that citizens get the safe medicine at affordable prices. And for that mission, industry of India and Gujarat supporting to my team. As FDA, we are a team of 1,500 people looking after the 65 plus million people's health and so in the quality of the food and the pharmaceuticals in the state of Gujarat. Friend, as a government, as an enforcement agency, the act and rules are framed by the central government, and the same act and rules are implemented in the right way in the state of Gujarat, and we are an enforcement agency. During this COVID pandemic, its beginning stage, we have the bilateral relation with the China and India. Jinping directly landed to Sabarmati riverfront along with our honorable PM, and it was a good beginning with the bilateral relation with the China. Because China, you know, it's a hub of the API and key source material. India, we are strong in the formulations, particularly Gujarat is also one of it. And we had a lot of meeting. I visited thrice China along with the industry players and the delegation. We have a lot of dialogues. And China was very, especially Beijing, the Beijing area, they want to tie with the Gujarat because they want to make sure that API and the formulator of the strong geographical area combine and let us set a new benchmark. That was the main aim. So everything was almost finalized. Chinese team has also visited Gujarat in the December 19. There was no corona case across the globe. Then they invited governments, policymakers, ministers along with me. We almost approval from state government and the central governments. Ticket was also booked, and we have came to know that there is a case of COVID in Wuhan area of the China. Then our health secretary, because there was no single case in those times in India, but we sense the seriousness of that virus, we decided better to postpone that trip. Then again, the Beijing people asked that we are at Beijing, Wuhan is 600 miles plus from the Beijing, it is very safe area, please do come, it is our final meeting. And minister and bureaucrats, they will sign the memorandum. But it was an early and wise decision by the government that not to travel to China. And this is how we connect with this COVID and the coronavirus, China and the Gujarat. So again, Dara Patel mentioned that it was because then India in January, February, March, slowly it's spreading across the globe. It was declared by WHO as a pandemic, and Honorable PM has a VC with the 3 leading states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Andhra. That was on 21st March of 2020. And he take a stock of the industry's preparedness about how to fight with the medicine to this unknown threat of this COVID virus. On 21st March, there was no remedy at all. No drug was discovered. Everybody was trying some or other medicine, repurposing that medicine. And prior to that week, we have gone through one article published by one of the doctors of the European Union, and he claimed that he used the hydroxychloroquine tablet to almost 80 COVID patients, and out of 80, almost he could survive 75 patients, and he said that SCQ is a probable treatment for this COVID. My team, FDA team, has gone through that article, and the moment we gone through the article, because we have a DMLA software, that is a drug license manufacturing software or online software, all 5,000 license manufacturers are online. So we have gone through the search option, hydroxychloroquine API manufacturers. We find 8 manufacturers. We have issued the license in the state of Gujarat. Then we searched for the formulation, this tablet. Then there were many manufacturers. We called them. We have a database, how many stock of API, how many stock of the finished dosage form with them, because these drugs were already approved in the pharmacopoeia and it was already used for the arthritis treatment. So fortunately, Gujarat was having enough stock of the formulation and the API, and we requested all the manufacturers to hold that stock. Please don't dispose of it. Please don't sell it till further direction from the government or FDA. On 23rd of March, US President declared that we have a wonder drug for COVID, based on that paper published by European doctor. By the time Gujarat FDA and Gujarat government were ready with this stock and all the data, our Honorable Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister have also gone through that viral video of wonder drug COVID by the then US President about hydroxychloroquine. CM himself telephoned me, Koshia, what is hydroxychloroquine? Because he was aware of chloroquine for antimalarial drugs. I explained Honorable CM and the Honorable Deputy CM over telephone. It was midnight, 10:30. And sir, I said, sir, we have enough stock. You can, as a CM, you can announce that we have enough stock. We can procure from the manufacturer, we can give free to the citizen. So this is how government is working closely. At the same time, there was a COVID core committee headed by Honorable CM, where the Chief Secretary, the Health Secretary, the Home Secretary, and this because the lockdown and pandemic, so 7-8 people, wherever they were meeting at 6 to 7, every day they're reviewing the stock, what was the today's position, what to do next. And after this input from FDA about the hydroxychloroquine, they also adopted me in this very important core committee of the state government. And I was fortunate that most of the meeting, along with the Honorable CM, the policymaker, as FDA head, I attended that meeting. And we have shared our technical domain knowledge with the policymaker, with the bureaucrats, with the politicians, and most of our suggestions, they have accepted it, and this is how we have supported the industry and the citizen of the Gujarat and India. I'm giving one classic example, how government policy can intervene and at the right moment, right time. So initially, because there was no medicine, only sanitizers, mask, and social distancing, there were only 3 tools to combat the COVID. Yes, Gujarat being a industrial state, we have a lot of sanitizer manufacturers. They have started manufacturing sanitizers. And Gujarat being a dry state, most of the manufacturers were using as a key active material IPA, isopropyl alcohol. In India, there is one manufacturer, one importer. There are two key players. And IPA's demand went very high overnight. So prices from 80 rupees per liter, it went to 400 per liter. Again, it was not available in the market. And every day we are pushing to the industry, rampant your production, so there is no shortage of the sanitizer in the state of Gujarat. So every day my team was collecting the data. We are sharing every day the core committee. Today we have a 60,000, 6 lakhs, 22 lakhs bottle production, and it is freely available in the state of Gujarat. But industry, they came to me, sir, this is the genuine problem. Meantime, Ministry of Consumer Affairs has put a price cap on these sanitizers. 250 rupees selling price for 500 ml bottle, 100 rupees for 200 ml bottle, likewise. So it was not at all viable for the manufacturer to produce a sanitizer by buying IP at 400 rupees per liter. Again, industry, because as I have said that we are the pies profession, industry said, sir, we don't want to make money. We want to humankind, we want to serve the industry. We'll make loss, but sir, help us to make IP available to us. But whatever cost we are ready to pay, and we are ready to continue the production. Then again, we have a brainstorming rest of the state, because other than Gujarat, most of the states are not dry states. And they were using ethyl alcohol as an active drug in the hand sanitizer, because both are having the equal bactericidal viral antiviral activity. But in Gujarat, it is very difficult to get permission from Prohibition Department to purchase, procure, store this denatured ethanol. So we sense this issue. How government is, we discussed this issue with the industry around 1:30 in the daytime. Before core committee, I discussed the same issue with my health secretary. She was kind enough. She said, Kushya, prepare a note. We'll request the government to give exemption for those who are having the FDA license to manufacture sanitizer from this government prohibition policy. And ethanol was freely available in India, because we have a lot of, it is molasses based, because a lot of sugarcane industry, agricultural farming, and it's available at 60 rupees per liter, and it's plenty, it's available. So we have started file in the evening at 5 o'clock, because it's policy decision, it was marked, it was one page note put by FDA commissioner, it was approved by the health secretary. Again, it was marked to the home secretary, because Prohibition Action Department under the home ministry. So it is secretary home. By the time it was 7:30, So she left to her home because as every commissioner, I'm working fortunate to work decades long. Most of the senior bureaucrats knows me personally. I put a message, Madam, urgent autograph. I need your autograph, not signature. So she called me. What is Koshi? I said, Madam, I want one approval. It's urgent. And he said, come down to my residence. So along with this file, I went to her residence at 8 o'clock in the late evening. It was a lockdown period, nobody on the road. It was a very difficult time. So she said that your write-up note is good, but people will misuse it. I said, Madam, people will not misuse. We allow denatured ethanol. When it is denatured with bitterant, it cannot be orally consumed by anybody because itself it is too much bitter. So everything is, I have safety precaution right in my note. Then she said, under what section I can give exemption? Then he said, Madam, Drug and Cosmetic Act, I could have tell you, but it's Prohibition Act. I have never implemented. I don't know which section you have to exempt it. Then she called her joint secretary and asked him to immediately come to her house. So within 10 minutes, the joint secretary came to her bungalow at Gandhinagar. Then he also said that Kosha sir is right, but we can exempt under section 143 or something. So they have added one section. Then that file was marked to Chief Secretary. So by the time it was almost 10:15, because I was marking the timing and very, very aggressive to get it done. So I went to CS Bungalow, Chief Secretary, again in the Gandhinagar. Fortunately, Chief Secretary was also earlier my boss as a head assistant Chief Secretary of the Health Department. He was also knowing me personally. So his PA said, sir, now went to bedroom, now we cannot disturb him to sign the file, everything. But again, I put a message. Immediately he replied me, call me back, Koshia, you write on my behalf, file is approved by CS, and take further. Then it was marked to the Health Minister and the Chief Minister. And by the time, it was almost 11 o'clock. And the same day that hydroxychloroquine video viral phone call I received, मैं उसके वहाँ जा रहा था सीएम बंगलो के और सीएम का कॉल आ गया सबको समझा अच्छी तरह से फिर मैं बोला सर आपका एक अर्जेंट साइन मुझे चाहिए तो बोला क्यों मैं बोला सर ये सैनिटाइजर इश्यू है इफ़ वी डोंट चेंज द पॉलिसी tomorrow it is very difficult to find a sanitizer in the market and people will cry for the sanitizer instead of Gujarat. So he said, Kusha, it was assembly session was on. To come at 12 o'clock in the assembly hall. Sir, 12 बजे मैंने फाइल assembly hall में भेजी. Deputy CM or Health Minister and CM both sitting on the front bench. 12:05 को दोनों का साइन होकर बाहर आ गया. So within less than 12 hours of time, policy decisions were taken that the sanitizer manufacturers having the FDA license, it is Ayurvedic, cosmetic, or allopathic, they are exempted from this prohibition excise rules, and they can use this denatured ethanol. And that file I hand over to the Joint Secretary of the Home Department, and I asked them, because I am also part of the core committee member, I said, CM want at 5 o'clock in the core committee, come with this GR. So he prepared a GR. So within 24 hours of time, GR was published. Then it was a lockdown period. So we have message, email to all the manufacturers. And I said, you can shift over to, you can replace IPA, use denatured ethanol, and continue with the production. Then they said, what about the product license and product permission? Product license approval will give you the post-effective, but go on production, continue. Sir, online, we have approved, given the product license permissions, and from shortage to surplus, and Gujarat-based manufacturers, even we have issued pre-code, there were some 30 licensed manufacturers. But during the COVID, it went more than 350 licensed manufacturers, and everybody is engaged in the manufacturing. And by this time, because the policy intervention at the right moment, the right time, short supply, we are surplus, because in those time also I was getting the phone call from the drug controller, different state, Goa, different state, because they are manufacturing, not dry state, but they are not manufacturing capacity. So they are asking, कुछ हमें हैंड सैनिटाइजर भिजवा दीजिए, will pay. But वो टाइम गुजरात में कम था, तो मैं बोला अभी तो let us fulfill my state requirement, then I will drive to your state. But with this policy intervention, within a week of time, हम करीब 2 लाख हैंड सैनिटाइजर पर डे बॉटल फिल करते थे, वो करोड़ से ज़्यादा हो गया. We have shared that data to government India, to my government, and our Gujarati manufacturers have started fulfilling the need of the state, fulfilling the need of the nearby states of the Indian Union, and they have started also exporting. So this is how the government policy intervention at the right moment, right time, support the industry, support the humankind. Again, there are a lot of instances. It takes whole day to discuss with you, but I will giving the only one example. Second critical example was the medical oxygen. As FDA, we are issuing the license to the medical oxygen manufacturers. Pre-COVID, there were only 35 licensed manufacturers. Gujarat being an industrial state, we have a lot of LMO plant, liquid medical oxygen plants, bottlers, refillers, and during pandemic time, we did physical audit and inspection, because virtual we are not auditing, by putting inspectors taking a risk, and from 30 manufacturers we have increased to 87 manufacturers. And to put medical liquid oxygen plants, it's a very, very time-taking and very expensive, but we have supported by issuing these bottlers, refillers, PSA plant. So whatever little they can contribute will help the industry. During this second peak and second wave, there was a lot of hue and cry for the remdesivir, for medical oxygen. And there was because in Gujarat we have a lot of medical oxygen manufacturing, a lot of capability. And in those times, Gujarat was, till date, we are manufacturing 1,000 metric ton per day, liquid medical oxygen. And our consumption was around 250 metric ton day. Highest was in the first peak. But in second peak, it went to 1,200 metric ton per day. Against our capacity was around 1,050. So it was very, very difficult to meet. So again, as a little bit technical knowledge in the background, and thanks to the core committee as I adopted as a technical member, because Gujarat is again, we have 2 PSU, Gujarat GNFC, Narvada Fertilizer, and Gujarat State Fertilizer Company. 2 big PSU, they are producing urea. And for that urea, they need to collect nitrogen from the air, and they are throwing oxygen away. So because that system plant is almost same, they have to just switch over which gas they have to collect and which they have to throw in the air. And meantime, because nitrogen being a inert gas, there was also shortage of the cylinder, tanks, transportation, and government of India has also given that manufacturers can use the nitrogen tank also by giving the flush of the oxygen, and cylinder and the tank can be used for the treatment purpose. So by giving this idea to the core committee, same time the chief secretary called the PSU head, again the bureaucrats, from tomorrow you have to give, what is your capacity? Then within the hour they came, said, one unit said that I can produce 180 metric ton oxygen per day. Second said that, sir, I can produce 220 metric ton per day. So this is how we can added 400 metric ton per day capacity from the already available sources. And we asked them, meantime, you can stop the urea production, but now human life is more important than the urea. And this is how, in those times where the situation was in equilibrium, demand, supply, and again, my entire team of FDA officers, because we also given a lot of different tasks by the government to check the level to the sanitizer, check the level to the mask, though it was not the part of FDA. Even the PPE kit, you rightly mentioned about the PPE kit. Somebody asked me, sir, what is PPE kit when reporter? Even myself, I was not knowing what is the full form of PPE kit because we have never come across such kind of issue. That is, I've gone through the Google Guru. It's a personal protective equipment. And I said, I've gone through all the, what are the PPE kits, the components. And again, to safeguard and save our doctor to supply the PPE kit. We have a few stock of the PPE kit in the government because sometime in the very sensitive OT, they used to wear PPE kit. Again, it was also limited stock. Government want to procure, but there is no supplier. Government said what to do. Then, because of the little domain knowledge, we said that we can ask the industry to assemble it in Gujarat. So, few of our team in the Baroda, they were active. Few team in Ahmedabad also active. So we approached one garment manufacturer who is preparing the garment from micro lab. He was ready to supply the coats, overcoats. Then the goggles were lacking. So our Baroda Assistant Commissioner team, one manufacturer in the Baroda for the goggles, asked him to supply the goggles. So one office is collecting the goggles, one is collecting the shoe covers, one is collecting the caps, and we are giving to the government assembling and giving to all doctors. To also give the confidence to the doctor that government is having enough stock to safeguard yourself to treat the patient. So this is how, as a team, as a regulator, we have supported the government, the citizen, and try to have a minimum damage to the society and availability of the medicine. With the one last example, I will wind up my. During second wave, we have a treatment. Remdesivir is already available. Gilead has given the license to 7 Indian players under contract manufacturing and the license agreement. First wave, at the end of the first wave, they were ready. They have a licensed product already in the market. Then after there was a downfall. So manufacturer, they're all capacity, competency, raw material, but they have stopped production because there was no demand. In second wave, suddenly there was a rise of the cases. Hospitalization was increased. There was a lot of demand for the remdesivir injection. Then under the core committee, we invited the manufacturers, start rampant your production. The manufacturer said, sir, if we start today, we already started manufacturing, but the production cycle is of 21 days. We are able to deliver the product after 21 days because remdesivir, you all know, it's a lyophilized form. To fill, seal, and lyophilize it itself takes 7 days. And after packing the QC part, microbiology testing, again, it takes 14 days. 7 plus 14, so it's a 21-day cycle. So even we have a capacity, but product will come after 21 days in the market. In those time, the government Food and Drug Laboratory Baroda, we have a rapid microbiology system in place. We have been using since 2018. It is from BioMérieux, Lyon, France, where we can detect a single microbes within 1 hour of time with its genesis. So it's high-tech, sophisticated instrument and system available to the government of Gujarat. Thanks to our our bosses, because they have, in those times, they have granted almost 4 crores of rupee to get that system. And we are using for food and some pharma products. Then I said government that I can clear that product. I can ensure that it's within the same day. And we have a technique adopted. Again, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission has come up with the notification because of looking to the emergency and the demand supply gap. They allow this rapid microsystem QC reports as official. And in second wave beginning, we did almost 305 batches of all India's manufacturers, whether it's Hitro, Cipla, Mylan, Zydus, Shenzhen, and we validated our system. One day it takes for validation, and second day we have released the most of the batches. And this is how the government lab also supported that early access to the medicine to the citizen across the nation. So again, thanks to the industry, because they have, whenever we have asked midnight, they have taken our words. They are always happy and ready to support, to serve the mankind. And last, as a regulator, our main function is to make sure that there should not be a spurious drug, black marketing. It's our enforcement activity. And my team has also acted very strongly. And during this COVID pandemic 1 and 2, in Gujarat, we have raided for the spurious tocilizumab injection, spurious 5-paragraph tablet, spurious remdesivir injection, 2 different manufacturers, one in Baroda, one in Surat, black marketing of remdesivir injections, and almost 50 plus the black sheeps, those who tried to make money out of this agile situation. We have not spared them. We have catch them, pursued them with the help of the district administration. Using this DNC Act and the PASA, immediately we have put behind the bar before trial goes in the court. And this is how my FDA team is working day and night to safeguard the public health in the state of Gujarat. And the quality of the product moving in the Gujarat market, if I look 10 years back, the failure ratio was as high as 11%, because every year we are lifting now 16,000 plus samples from the market. So in those times, there were the policy of the hilly region, the tax-free states. So some hilly regions' failure ratio was as high as 25% or 22%, which make Indian failure average is almost 11% in those times, 10 years back. But now, year after year, because we are also checking and keeping track on it, we have a trend analysis, and now it has come down to almost 2.5%. So year after year, quality of the pharmaceutical moving the market is improving, thanks to the all low-value manufacturers, my vigilant team. And again, I have a breakup. Out of 2.5% ratio, what is the failure ratio of the Gujarat-based manufacturer and what is the pan-India? Again, I am happy to share with you that Gujarat-based manufacturer failure ratio is almost closely 1%, and they are always committed to produce a quality medicine. And still, there are some black sheeps. Sometimes we catch them as a spurious manufacturer. That is why, as FDA, we exist here. And this is what few thoughts and the shares as a policymakers from the state of Gujarat. Thank you for inviting me and patiently listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time with us. It indeed gives me a great pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks on behalf of Saket Projects Limited. We are grateful to Dr. H.G. Koshia, Dr. Milind Joshi, Dr. Dara Patel, Dr. Mayank Dubey, all other speakers of the dais and delegates for joining us today in this conference. We are thankful to Cadila Pharmaceuticals Limited and Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited for sponsoring this event. We are thankful to all the government officers for their guidance. And now we are reaching towards the tea break, and it is the end of the inaugural session. I request all of you to have your refreshments, which is arranged outside this auditorium, and be back here as soon as possible. Shri Gaurang Oza to come up on the dais and take their chairs. Jayesh Joshi to welcome Dr. Shashank Shinde with a bunch of flowers and memento. Sir has done his BTech in Textile Technology, MBA in Marketing, and holds a postgraduate diploma in Foreign Trade. He carries valuable managerial experience of more than 23 years with MMTC Limited, a public sector undertaking at different locations like Mumbai, Ahmedabad, and New Delhi. He monitors developmental activities and promotes initiatives to ensure ease of doing business for the industry in the interest of getting more investment and employment in the zone. Gujarat University has conferred PhD in management for his research work on socio-economic impact of special economic zones in Gujarat. Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Devendra Acharya to welcome Dr. Ravi Shah, Faculty and Head, Pharmaceutical Analysis Department, NIPER Ahmedabad, with a bunch of flowers and memento. Sir has vast experience on product development workflow and regulatory requirements pertaining to DMF ANDA fillings at EU. He also worked significantly on complex generics for getting pharmaceutical equivalents through robust CQA, CPP, and CMA correlations through QBD approaches. He has published many research articles in almost every international analytical journal. Currently, his lab is working on diverse fields of drug development and platform technology developments, including impurity profiling, drug excipient compatibility studies, dissolution study of etrigel, impact of dissolution and CQAs through structural changes in biopolymers, biomarker quantification to understand stress, etc. His team also supports industries by solving their product development challenges. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Mr. Yasdeep Singh Jadeja to welcome Ms. Rashmi Pant, Pharma Consultant Ahmedabad, with a bouquet and memento. Ma'am is leading market research, strategic marketing, and market intelligence consultant who helps to shape the thinking of pharmaceutical and clinical research companies, entrepreneurs, and business operators in UK, USA, and India. She is having 22 years of experience with leaders like Torrent Pharma, Intas, Sun Pharma, ARC, Vida Clinical, and Cliantha Research. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here. Now I request Path Sheth to welcome Shri Gaurang Oza, Chief Mentor and CEO, Vaibhav Analytical Services, Ahmedabad, with a bunch of flowers and memento. Sir is a science graduate, Chief Mentor and CEO of NABL accredited and FDCA approved drug testing laboratory in Ahmedabad, established in 1994. He started his professional career in 1983 as a technical assistant in pharmaceutical company. He is an expert member of IP Review Committee and BIS Committee of Cosmetics and Inorganic Chemicals since almost a decade. EC member of Gujarat State Board of IDMA and IP. Thank you so much, sir. Now, without taking much of your time, I request our chairperson, Dr. Shashank Shinde, to take over the session from here. Please, sir.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome my today's speakers sitting on my dais, Dr. Ravi Shah, Mr. Gaurang Oza, Rashmi Pant, ma'am. In audience, I see the mixed variety from the pharma industry. Myself, Dr. Shende, of course, I am the only odd personality what I was telling to ma'am. I am not from the pharma industry, but I am very much thankful to the organizer, who is very close friend of mine, and from time to time he take my undue advantage. I am looking after the special economic zone administrator in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar and Surat, some of the sector specific SEZs which consist of electronic park, IT industry, and coincidentally I am also looking after the Zydus SEZ, Pharma SEZ. So somehow indirectly from the administrative perspective, I am connected with your industry. Since last 5 years, I am closely associated with Pharma SEZ, and of course, after this complete session, I will give my some observations about the industry, the growth. That will be my concluding session. But I really once again say welcome, and I am not a regular speaker as well, but I always give importance for such type of conferences. This is a platform, and definitely in tier 2 and tier 3, in metro cities, I belong to Mumbai, and such type of conferences are common, but I am really grateful to the organizer, Saket Projects, who has taken the initiative and where this is a platform to interact, intervene, and to this is a brainstorming session mostly. It's a two-way communication. It's not only, and the experts we are here from the various field and allied field as well. And as the subjects, and of course, Gujarat is known for a manufacturing hub for pharma globally. So this is one of the very important segment from the manufacturing side, from the contributing towards the national growth, and definitely such type of sessions are. I feel it's really important to have to exchange the things, new ideas, innovations. Right now, number of things are going on in each and every industry. So I think in morning I was not there for inauguration session, but hopefully the morning speakers, they might have given some insights about the industry. And in the first session of today, I too expect the domain expertise, the experts from the various the profile we have seen. Dr. Ravi Shah, he's already a teaching faculty in NIPER. Gaurang Oza, he is a practical equality lab analytical services what he's providing, and Rashmi ma'am equally the research. Research is another very broad subject where we have to go for always skill gap study basically, and there are a lot of things today. I hopefully if this type of sessions require an intellectual and analytical approach, so even the number of delegates or the participants may be less, but hopefully at the end of the day, we should go with the concluding agenda. Yes, what is the future of this industry? Some insights and the outputs. We should carry that output, and that's the basic objective of organizing this type of intellectual sessions on various subjects from time to time. It gives, of course, everybody has gone to the corona, so there was a break of last 3 years, and physically exchange the views. It's very easy to say that everything is there in Google, but apart from the Google, there is another life where it is this type of platform. Once again, I thanks for giving me opportunity for this holding this session as a capacity of chairmanship. And I don't know the chronology, but the subjects. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having. There are three speakers today who are already available for your on the dais, and as per this schedule which has been provided to me. And of course, this is the first time of holding me as a chairmanship. I don't know what is the role, but definitely we'll see that. We will give more time, and the session is already 30 minutes late, but we give it's not a matter of time, it's a matter of output, and we will try to get some new ideas from all the three speakers in their respective field. So first, I invite Dr. Ravi Shah, who to please deliver his subject. The topic of this session, his topic is Indian pharmaceutical sector progress and global needs for sustainability. So I request you to please carry out your things, and of course, hopefully we can decide the time of 25 to 30 minutes, or as per you are free, but We'll see how the things get moved, and we'll try to complete the things by within the 2 hours period. Please, sir. Welcome, Dr. Ravisha.